So today's a quick video, well, certainly to start with, because I've got to get ready to go to work. But I did say that I was going to show you my new box when it came. I didn't bother going through the process of unwrapping it and all that. Instead, I'm just going to open it, show you what's in it. I'll install it, and not now because I haven't got time, but later on I'll do some testing on it and show you the whole thing. So let's have a quick look what's inside the box. Power supply, power lead, now disappointingly, when I had the previous box, which was a second-hand or used piece of equipment, it did actually come with a little Allen key to adjust the rack ears. This one doesn't have it. And the reason I'm saying it's disappointing, because this one, although it's also B stock, it actually came direct from Cranborne Audio. So I'm not sure why they've left it out of this package and put it in the other one, but I probably won't be adjusting the rack ears anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, it's the Cranborne Audio Camden EC2, which is basically two EC2s, two EC1s rather, stuck together in a 1U rack. Hopefully both channels of this one are working. We'll see. I'm going to install it. Like I said, I don't have time to test it now because I've got to get ready to go to work. But maybe later tonight, or most likely this weekend, because I've actually got this weekend off, I'll run it through its paces and let you see and hear what it's up to. So my studio desk, in terms of the furniture rather than the mixing desk, has racks on either side. This is the left hand rack. At the top we have the Motu MIDI Express XT, which, as the name implies, is a MIDI interface. Below that there's a gap, which is only there because below that is the Audient Evo 16, which, if you've seen my previous videos, you know I've complained about it having inputs on the front. Well, that's why, because it means that there's a gap above it. Below that is the expansion for my Evo 16, which is my Ferrofish Pulse 16, which I've also spoken about before. Below that is the DAV BG1U, which I spoke about in my last video. Below that is my Sans amp. Below that I've got a pair of DBX 160As. I've replaced my 160X with another 160A, and I've got them here in stereo linked mode, where the top one is controlling both of them. Below that is my Warm Audio bus comp, which we've also discussed before. And below that is my what is that below that? That's my my digital delay unit from Roland, which is known as SDE 2000. And right at the bottom of the picture is my Millennium HP6, which is a 12 in, 12 out headphone amplifier. So that's this side of the desk, my left hand side, as I'm looking at it. You can see I've got some signal going through there, but the reason I haven't got it recorded, I only recorded the video rather than the audio, is because I didn't want this to be struck for copyright reasons. So yeah, once again, bottom up, HP6 from Millennium headphone amp. Above that, SD 2000 digital delay by Roland. Above that, the Warm Audio bus comp, which is a G-Bus clone. Above that, we've got two DBX 160As. In this case, they're stereo link mode, but they are two individual mono compressors. Above that, we have the Sans amp, which we know is kind of like a Kemper before the Kemper. And then again, you've got the DAV BG1U and the Cranborne Audio EC2, which is what the purpose of this whole video is about. And you may remember that in my last video I mentioned I've got an old Rain mixer that I was using for reverb. Well, that was that there. I mean, it's a perfectly good mixer, it's just that it doesn't work with the modern version of Serato, so it's kind of been retired just to that purpose now. That's my main mixing desk, which you've seen before if you've seen any of my other videos. It's Allen & Heath GS3. As you can see, I've got actually Logic running there, which is unusual for me, but it is what it is. That's my keyboard for my computer. Here we have my two Console 1s, Console 1 Mark II and Console 1 Fader. Over here we've got my Audient Nero, which is a monitor controller. We've got my Akai MPC 1000, my Machina Studio, my Stream Deck, and then we have the rack, which is on the right hand side of my studio desk. At the top we've got a Furman power conditioner, which basically everything, certainly everything audio related, is supplied by a power through that. Then I've got a couple of switched power providers, I suppose is the simplest way to think of them. They're both plugged into the Furman, so everything is going through the Furman, everything is getting RFI treated and spikes etc taken out by the Furman. So these are just power distribution units, eight inputs on each one, so I can plug up to 16 things into these two, plus another 8 on the Furman, which means I can plug up to 24 things directly into that without it going into the mains power. So below that, I've mentioned box number 1 and box number 3. Well, box number 2 was this, which is an Lexicon MPX1. It replaced my now defunct Lexicon MPX 550, and I've only just recently got it, but before that I was using the Rain digital mixer, and so this is going to replace that now. And then below that we've got my patch bay with various things plugged in here and there. So welcome back. It's been more than a few days since the end of the last video, or the last part of this video I should say. Between the normal day-to-day issues of life, the heat in the studio and the fire at work, a lot of stuff has stopped me from completing the video the way I wanted to. So that's why I'm here now. We're going to see what we can do with my new equipment. So what I decided to do in order to test things was to make a little beat. This time, instead of using the Machina, I used my MPC. So if I switch cameras, I was using the MPC over here. Again, it's just 8-bar loop. It's nothing special, but I'm going to play it and let you hear what it sounds like. and that sounds like silence because I've got the tracks muted. So like I said, just a simple 8-bar loop. And this is all coming from the MPC's stereo output to 2 channels on the desk, which are then being obviously routed into the computer for recording. But what else is coming from the MPC is this. Now those sounds aren't being generated by the MPC. The MPC is just providing the MIDI for these sounds. The sounds are being generated by the Mini Grand by Air Music. It's one of the plugins that came with, or was able to be accessed for free, I should say, with my M-Audio MIDI controller. So it's the computer playing the piano, but it's being driven by the MPC. I also have an instance of Hybrid which is set up as a Moog bass chorus, and it sounds like this. The Moog by itself. Actually, of course, it's not by itself because I've still got the beat going from the MPC. So if I mute those channels, so this is being driven by the MPC, but it's actually the computer which is providing the sound via this plugin. I say plugin, it's actually standalone. I haven't got it connected to either of these, connected to a DAW. They're both in standalone mode. And as you can see from the keyboards down the bottom, they're receiving the same notes at the same time from the MPC. So if I unmute the piano, and I can also unmute the MPC. But I didn't want to just leave it there. Decided that I was going to add some live bass to the track. So having added the bass, I've recorded all the tracks separately, which is why they've all been separated on the desk. I'm going to do a bit more with the beat itself, because what I forgot to do in my eagerness to pick up the bass was unmute my Sans amp. So if I record again, and just for now, so that you can hear what the Sans amp's doing, that's the Sans amp muted, so all you can hear right now is the MPC. And as you can hear now, the beat from the MPC, the outputs, the stereo output from the MPC is being sent out to the Sans amp, and the outputs from the Sans amp are returning to 2 channels on the mixing desk, which are then being blended back up into the beat. And with the piano, and with the Moog. So what I intended to do, and still intend to do, is put some vocals on the track. I'm not a musician, as you probably just witnessed, and that includes not being a vocalist, but I'm here, so I'm going to do the vocals as well. But I can't do it today because, unfortunately, I used to have 2 working pairs of headphones, one of which is my trusty Sennheiser HD 650s, which, as you can see, are open-backed headphones. And the other was my Audio-Technica ATM 50Xs. I think that's what they're called. Unfortunately, though, they are no longer functioning correctly. They've had a lot more use out of them than the Sennheisers, because I used them for DJing as well. So they've been traveling around and they're mashed up now, basically. So I can't use them again. So what I'm going to do at some point in the next, hopefully soon, I'll be getting in some new headphones, some new closed back headphones that I can use for tracking. And then I'll put some vocals on top of this and I'll let you hear the result. But basically, what you just heard just now, in fact, let me pick it up again. My bass is going through the DI on my EC2. So that's the DI on the EC2, and that's the reason that I've recorded the bass, so that you can hear how the DI sounds on the EC2. So the next job will be to record some vocals so that you can hear the mic pre side of the EC2, and we'll see how it goes from there. So I was editing this video and it occurred to me that I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get these headphones. I've ordered them, but I don't have an actual idea of the exact delivery date yet. I thought what I will do instead, as this video is getting a bit long as well, I'll just cut this one here and do the vocal recording in part 2, and I will throw in a review of the headphones at the same time. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time or not. And either way, I hope you do something that makes you happy.